Hey everybody, this is Coach Coventry, sending you another OHSF All-Decade member. This guy is a fullback. You can kind of classify him in the athlete QB category, that wildcat type, blocking, hitting. I'm going to let him do his own introduction though.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Scott Fulton. I used to go to Colonel By. I played a little bit of running back and then some quarterback, but I mostly just ran the ball, so I guess I'm a wildcat quarterback. I played during the 2017-2018 seasons. Absolutely loved it. And then that gave me the chance to reclassify down in the States, play 2 seasons there. And yeah, I played at Salisbury School in Connecticut.
That's, that journey is very unique. And some of the guys we've talked to have some similar journeys, leaving in grade 11 or grade 12 and heading to a prep year. But before we get to any of your time in OHSF or beyond, I'd love to talk about, the journey that got you into football in the first place. I'd love for you to speak about your time and growing up and getting into football, the community, some coaches perhaps had some influence, or even some teammates or people that you remember growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I started playing in, I think, grade 5. One of my buddies came up to me and asked if I wanted to play football. And at first I wasn't too sure about it. I wasn't the most athletic kid when I was really little. But I decided to try it out, and I loved it. I started in Tyke with the North Gloucester Giants, and I loved it. We weren't the best team. I fell in love with the sport, not with winning. And we slowly got better and better, and eventually we got to win the A Cup championship during my last year. And while I played there, I started off as a tight end, had some success there, but then I switched to defense. Played almost every position on defense, and then switched to running back in my last year.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And I mean, it just shows you. Yeah, it just shows you, like, as an athlete, as somebody who takes on football, you don't always start in the position you end up at, or even get nominated for a list. You kind of, as somebody who is a superior player or a superior athlete, if we're being honest, you kind of don't want to get off the field, and you're willing to kind of play everywhere, right?
Yeah, for sure. And also, I played in the OPFL, OVFL for 2 years. I played with the Cumberland Panthers. Those are some really good teams. The first year that I played OVFL, we made it to the semifinals. And then when we switched to the OPFL, kind of a new league, we actually won it in the first year as an underdog team. We started, I think, with 3 losses on the to start the year, and then we picked it up. We rallied, and we came back and won the whole championship, the whole provincial championship.
Well, that's great. I mean, you have that winning pedigree there too, and it's something that's clearly, getting that taste of winning kind of, adds to the fuel to the fire and wanting to, continue that football journey and get better, right? Once you get that even losing in the finals or even a semifinal, you start to realize how serious it is, right? And then finally winning that championship, you kind of understand what it takes to be great in that sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And definitely for you, Scott, you carried that greatness, with you up into the high school ranks. And I'd love for you to talk about that time in Ottawa high school football. Maybe speak about some coaches, some teammates. You can name drop. I really don't mind. Maybe some amazing moments that you remembered, and things that you can look back on with your high school teammates that are part of your two varsity seasons here at OHSF.
Yeah, for sure. I started playing for Colonel By in grade 10. I didn't play in grade 9, but it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. The year before, we had won the Tier 2 championships, so we had high expectations for ourselves and going to try and make a run for the Tier 1. It was a great atmosphere there. A lot of really good guys. I played running back. And we ended up making it to the Tier 2 championships again. I think we played Franco Cité. We beat them, and that was really nice. The next year, we came back. We had a little bit of questions as to who was going to be playing where, and I was picked to play quarterback because of my running ability, and I had pretty good football know-how, and I was able to run the offense. And we played really well there. Let me think. I think that year was where my favorite Ottawa high school football memory came. It was in a third Tier 2 championship game against St. Matt's. And I think it was just a great game. It embodies all of what Ottawa high school football is about. It was really close game, came down to the last few drives, and we had to shovel the field off a little bit because a little bit of snow, and it was just a great game. Two teams battling it out, and yeah.
Do you have a memorable play from that game that you kind of, that it kind of comes to mind? Because we all know the pedigree of a St. Matt's, and I mean, unfortunately, they had to go down to the Tier 2 final for that year, but they're perennially an OHSA team. And you guys even just showing that you've made it to, two Tier 2s, and then a third one. Yeah. It just shows that the program is on the up right now. But yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought. I'd love for you to talk about that one memory. Absolutely. You have a play.
That game, I played the whole game. I don't think I ever got off the field. I played quarterback and middle linebacker, as well as I was on every single special team. And I was obviously tired all game, but I didn't want to leave the field. And one play I can remember was while I was on defense. They kind of got the ball out wide, and I had to go all the way across the field, dive and make a tackle. And I slid in the snow and got back up. I had to brush myself off, and yeah,
something unique about Northern Ontario football for us. Yeah. It's we do get some snow in November, and we're no stranger to playing in that weather. Definitely seen a couple snow games in our day, and I don't know if it's like that in Connecticut currently, but that's something that because you were such an impact for Colonel By and getting that championship, and then again getting to another championship, it allowed you to open some doors to take you into a pretty unique path, right? And I'd love for you to talk about where you ended up in Connecticut.
So my coach on the OPFL team, Cumberland Panthers, Coach Jeff and Coach Larry, they had sent a kid previously to Salisbury School in Connecticut, Dom Ostrowski.
Yep.
He really liked it there, and he had some success. So that kind of opened a doorway for me to be able to go as well. I took a visit there. I loved it. It was great. And I got the opportunity to go, and I took it. And I played tight end down there. It's great there. It's a little different than in Ottawa. The facilities at that school were pretty good. We had a nice turf field, big varsity gym, and everyone there is so focused on football, and it's just great. We played last year, had a good season, barely missed out on a bowl game. Our very last game against our rivals, Avon Old Farms. They were a really good team. Came down, almost sent the game to overtime, but we missed a crucial field goal to lose, and that was a little disappointing. And this year was a little different with all of COVID going on. We were able to get a 3-game season.
Okay.
We played Cheshire Academy twice, actually, and we beat them both times. And then we got a game against Kent, beat them pretty handedly. But
now, is that due to proximity of schools, or what's going on with that COVID situation there?
So we had to follow strict guidelines at our school to be able to practice and have a team. And once we were cleared that we were all healthy and we were able to play, we had to find teams who followed similar guidelines and we knew were healthy. So that's why we had to play Cheshire Academy twice. We were scrambling to find games with other teams too, but a lot of them didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then our Kent game was later in the year. It was, they followed the same guidelines too, and we were hoping to get a 4th game against a team in Massachusetts, but Connecticut came out with new guidelines saying we weren't allowed to play out-of-state teams. We weren't able to get that game.
Well, it's unfortunate that 4th one didn't happen, but I think you have to be thankful, given these circumstances, that you even got a few games in. And
for sure.
Yeah, and you playing tight end, is very similar to that H-back / fullback position in Canada. And that got you some looks, down south. And, we'll tease it right now, but that led to a commitment, that's recently just happened. But I'd love, before we talk about you committing to that program, talk to me about the recruiting process and, your unique position where you're going from Canada to Connecticut in the United States, and then having to clear the NCAA clearinghouse and getting that scholarship to where you ended up.
Yeah, well, I came in, I didn't have any looks at the time from any American schools. I had a few looks from some Canadian universities, sorry. And I played, after my first season, I put together a highlight tape. My high school coach down there, Coach Phelps, sent it out. And I got a little bit of interest, not right away. I had a few coaches follow me on Twitter, talk to me a little bit. And then during the pandemic, I got my first offer from Bryant University. That was really good. And then I just garnered more and more interest over time. I talked to some Ivy League schools, a few FBS schools, but mostly some FCS schools. I think I got a total of 5 offers from teams, all really good programs and good schools. And maybe it was 6 actually, I'm not 100% sure. But right before this year's season, I got an offer from Lehigh University. I took a virtual tour. And actually, I had been on campus once before at Lehigh, because last year I tried wrestling for the first time, and I actually made it to the Prep Nationals tournament. So which was at Lehigh. So I got to check it out a little bit, and it had some great facilities, and I really liked the atmosphere there. And
for those who don't know, where is Lehigh University?
Lehigh is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so
not too far from Philadelphia.
Okay, so changing states again. You're a man on the move right now.
I am.
Absolutely. So always had your mind set on Lehigh, or was those couple visits, or that wrestling tournament, and then the recruiting process that kind of led you there?
I had my mind open to pretty much any school. I wasn't really sure what I wanted exactly. So I was just trying to keep as many doors open as possible. I wanted to learn as much as I could about every school. But later on in the process, especially with all the COVID things going on, there's some university players that are coming to get an extra year of eligibility, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now with not even all the coaches know exactly what's going on and how people are going to act. So I felt it was good to make a decision now, secure my spot, and I thought Lehigh is a really good fit for me. It's a really good engineering and business school, and I think I'll do really well there. I think I'll like it.
Where do they slot you coming in? Are you playing offense, defense? What are you going to do for them? What do they think you can offer them?
Yeah, they recruited me as a tight end, so hopefully I'll be able to get the chance to fight for some playing time first year. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I'm definitely going to do my best when I get there to get on the field as much as I can and show them what I got.
Yeah. So right now you'd say you're in the off season currently, technically.
Yeah.
What's the process like for a guy like you, going from Connecticut to, you're back in Ottawa right now. How are you going about doing the off season process? What's your mindset doing this during COVID?
Right now I'm just trying to get bigger, faster, stronger. Emphasis mostly on the faster. You really need speed to play at the next level. Doesn't matter how big you are. If you can't move, you're not gonna have too much success. Right now I'm stuck quarantining at home for these 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to go out and train soon. I've been training a lot at Titan, really close to my house.
Shameless plug to Joey. Yeah, shameless plug.
Yeah, I love him. He's a great.
I used to train with him, so I completely understand. Yeah, he's a great guy, and all the trainers or the coaches and trainers in Ottawa. I've seen some top-notch guys that know what they're doing, and Joey's definitely one of them.
Oh yeah, Joey really knows what he's doing. I love him as a trainer. He does great. Hopefully I'll be able to go get to train with him. In the meantime, I've got a little home gym that I built in my basement. When all the pandemic hit and everything locked down, I went over to Home Hardware, got some concrete and 2x4s, built my own squat rack, made some workout plates out of concrete, which I'm pretty proud of. So I've been using that a lot. I got a few dumbbells too. So just trying to, stay active while I'm in my quarantine, so I can, get a head start on everyone else.
Sounds like you're pretty serious about this engineering thing. Going
Yeah,
going into
a little
Lehigh.
bit.
You mentioned it's an engineering school, so I'm assuming that's probably what you're going to take.
Yeah, they have a really good integrated business and engineering program. So you kind of get best of both worlds. You understand the engineering side, but also the business side of everything. So that's what I'm thinking of going into. But yeah, I love building things, taking things apart, figuring out how things work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's exactly what I'm getting at with the home gym setup. Clearly, somebody who wants to be an engineer would think of doing that. I can't say I have, and that's pretty ingenious to get those concrete plates. Now, heading into the future, these talks are for us, also for you guys to congratulate you, but also for prospective student athletes who want to listen to your journey and get some feedback about how they can get into this to where you're at, essentially. If you could kind of give some advice to any student athlete, going through the process in Ottawa or beyond, getting to either a Canadian or an American school like you did, what kind of advice would you give them?
The best advice I can give is just be coachable. Listen to what your coaches tell you. They don't think that you know everything just because you've had some success. There's always someone who can teach you something. So just take everything with an open mind. Try and figure out how what they're saying works well with you. Just definitely keep an open mind about everything. Don't shut someone down because you don't think they can teach anything. Everyone can teach you something.
Yeah. And at this point, you talked about getting bigger, faster, stronger, but for those of us who've gone through the university process, we also know that knowing your playbook is,
oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah, you gotta really.
Yeah. That 90% mental, learning, you're talking about learning, and that's kind of what I'm getting at there. You have to know that the coach is going to trust you to come and make a play when your time is called, right? It's that 90% mental, 10% physical. And, I don't know what your playbook was like at Colonel By and then at Salisbury, but I'm assuming the coaches have the same standards. It's having to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. They really want to know that you know what you're doing. They know what you have to do on each play because that's the whole trust factor. Like when you're playing, you have to trust that the guy next to you knows what he's doing and he's going to do it. And that's how a team can come together and go win some championships, is if everyone knows their job and does their job.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Honestly, that's a great one. Other than that, thank you and congratulations on making this list. This is no small feat, like I mentioned off of the screen time and off the Zoom call. But this is one of those things that the coaches deliberated for a long time, and we really thought that you deserved a spot on this list, and we're thankful that you did this interview and are being so gracious and humble about it. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking me. It's great to be part of all the great players that you guys selected, some of whom I've played with or played against. We've got a lot of great players coming from Ottawa, and it's good to be it's nice to be recognized and see how everyone else is doing, and maybe how I compare a little bit to some other people. A little bit of bragging rights, but thank you very much for you organizing this and everyone at OHSF and anyone who's helped with this. I really appreciate all that you guys have done. It's
definitely a community effort. You grew up in that NCAA system going all the way to OHSF. I can't take individual credit for it. It's one of those things that it's the culmination of you growing up, going through the system, guys like Larry, guys like Jeff Karate, and then your high school coaches. I'm just part of the process. So, I can help you any way I can. I will. And that's the bottom line. And on that note, congratulations. Welcome to the OHSF All-Decade team as the fullback/athlete that you are. We wish you all the best, Scott, and thank you for joining us on this Zoom call.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All the best.
Bye.